Okay, first, there is no conservation season. We, any season is a time for water conservation. And in 2018, we just wrapped the water year at the end of the September. It was precipitation deficit throughout much of the state. So, for example, in the Sierras, where we get most of our snow, and snowpack is really important as a slow release reservoir during late spring and early summer, we were 20% below average or worse. So that's the water year we've had. And not only the low precipitation, but it was also really hot. And we should remember that during the recent drought, it was not only the lack of precipitation, but also the hot conditions that made it such an unprecedented drought. So with that said, for the water year, urban water savings reached more than 230 billion gallons from January through September of 2018. So Californians did well. That's 15% below the urban water use that we had.
How did they do it?
In 2013. How did they do it? Some of the permanent changes that were made during the drought, installing water-efficient fixtures and appliances, and re-landscaping to use xeriscape in the outdoor areas, are things that are going to be lasting water savings that we have. And also there is the memory of the actions we took, and there is still that awareness that water is precious in California, so also changing their daily habits.
Is there a concern that as the winter comes and the rain might come, that people forget about water conservation?
I think water conservation is a byproduct of what we see around us. So when it's raining, we might forget that tomorrow might be dry. In fact, weather in California changes from year to year, and in the nation we have the greatest variability in the amount of precipitation we get from year to year, and that's just the characteristics of California hydrology. So it's uncertain and it's very variable, so there is a need to remember to save even when it's raining and when it seems like we're out of the drought. We don't know what the next year will be like.
Jelena, a lot of people might be wondering what they can do personally to cut back on water. What did you guys do, you and your family?
My family had conservation at the forefront, brought to us courtesy of children in school and in preschool. The messages that children received were brought home, and turning off the faucet while we are washing dishes, brushing teeth, while we are soaping things before rinsing. So we did all that. We also invested in permanent change. We replaced, and when we were making bigger purchases, we made sure those were WaterSense labeled fixtures and appliances, so the toilet and the washing machine. Our city recently instituted water metering that shows real-time hourly use, and one of the first things I did is to go check our account during the time when we are not using water to ensure that the water use was indeed zero, because leaks is really water down the drain that nobody's using but we are losing. So things that others could do today in their homes without changing how they live is to check for and fix leaks. But there are other actions to take outside of the home and inside, and we took kind of all of the above approach. It took us a while to re-landscape our yard, but during the peak of the drought we just stopped watering our grass, and we knew that in a couple of years we were to put native plants there instead of the green lawn.
And so your kids came home from school and were telling Mom how to save water?
Reminding us we need to conserve, and telling us it's the drought, and we almost had to tell them, oh, it's okay, we can use water to drink.